Hey, good day, everyone. I got no makeup on again, and my hair's all messed up and smoking a cigarette. Hey, but none of that matters. I am what I am, and each of you should be the same. No reserves. You practice your freedom in that respect. However, a very important subject, and let me shut the phone off. It's starting to attract energy. Um, we need to look. Yes, we need. It's required to look at the Kundalini and the Merkaba, the activations. We need to. I can share a bit more info on that. Preferably, when I speak about these important things, I usually write about it. Because what I do is I draw on a library of records for the information, and I do this through an energetic telepathic way that I go in there and I connect uh, to retrieve the information that I write for you. And um, there is no rush component with that, and actually you don't want to rush. And that's why some of these videos are so long. You don't look at the time it takes, but it is important to get every bit of information out in one place as you can. So that's why I prefer writing. However, there are so many other energetics going on, so that is one of the reasons why I'm doing more videos. There is energy transmuted through the vibration of the voice, as many of you know, and also through the eyes. And so we are in, very important times with the progress and the development of each. And, we just keep energizing it up in whatever way we can. So, having said that, let's have a look at this Kundalini Merkaba thing. It's called a spiritual thing, and the activating the Kundalini fire that's been around, for a long, long while on the planet, and it's been integrated within certain cultures, mainly the southeastern Asia, China, in that way and in that respect. Now, in the recent past, it has been gaining a lot more interest, and that's because the Kundalini and the Merkabas are being activated within many of you, and it's being triggered. And for a lot of you, this happened. You didn't know what was going on. You had to go on the computer and try to find what was happening with your physical vessel, because you had no inkling beforehand what it was. And I can share with you, in this physical vessel that I have, when it was activated, I had no clue what was coming beforehand. I did not know what it was, and but I was briefly informed, let's say, by the angelics, quickly coming in, placing on the computer for me the information that I needed about it, and then also give me an overall kind of in-depth briefing on, what it is, what it's for, and, how it was integrated and seeded into the histories and the timelines. So it is very important with this ascension, and it's a very important part of this ascension as well. Now, there are ones of you that do not have it activated yet. That is perfect, and that is good, because Some of you are just not going yet right where the others are going. So everything is in perfect timing. And if you want to use those wiggly quote things, soul contract, that label, you know, there is such a thing. We need that identification purpose, that there is a soul contract in place. Because in reality, it is at your soul seat, you know, in your heart, you have all of the information from all times. You know all of this, and it's linked, let's say, to your subconsciousness. But as you awaken, and the reconfiguration of the neural pathways in the brain and the right side of your brain is activated and ready more to go. Well, what you do is you retrieve information, if you will, from that subconscious part of the brain. You can, let's say, you know, that's one way to look at it, but actually your information comes from the energetic etheric fields in the realm there. So you're actually connecting by energy, but there are many ways, not many, but there are several ways to explain this. And, you know, what I will do most of the time is try to give a simple example so it's more broadly understood what I am saying. So, you know, even though there's variations in the Kundalini, the activation of it, the Merkaba, they are all the same. The different perspectives, they're derived as such to assist certain ones at their level of development. Uh, so, you know, a different perspective of why the Kundalini is there is absolutely correct and acceptable. All of them are. Whatever you are guided to read about it and its purpose, that is for you what resonates. So, and you know, the reasoning for this, that there are variations of perspectives on it, is because different things must happen with different groups and the individuals. They need to be guided into a certain area for, let's say, future learning and knowledge, and it puts them in a different place and time, and puts them slightly on a different path. But all of these paths, all of these perspectives, they all converge to one. When, this is why it's so important to not judge another on their journey, to not judge another like group. You know, there may be conflicts between the groups where they disagree on things down here, but, you know, at the end of the day, you are all one, but you are separated here to a degree, trying to get this straightened out. But it all converges once you have everything intact. And then you come to know that you are all the same and that there is no separation. But, you know, also while you're down here, the groups are important where it seems like the light workers are separated. And it's important because the groups are assigned different divine tasks. You are all alike, you are all the love. It's just that you have a different divine purpose at that time, which will be divinely separated. So you focus on your goal and your divine intent that you're here to do. So, you know, these things happen. And take the Trump thing, you know, for example, there are many, I know I'm getting off track here. We were supposed to be speaking about Kundalini, but anyways, I'll get this Trump thing out of the way. You know, we have much, um, we have many of the light, but we do have, what is interesting, one side supporting Trump as a divine vehicle, an instrument, and knowing that he is divinely guided. And then we have, you know, some angels on the other side that are awakened, that, you know, are kind of saying, no, you know, he's bad or whatever, and, you know, we hate him and full of hate. But the thing is, as we keep converging, this does come together, and those ones that hate Trump are they have an important purpose there as well. They're to bring up, um, things for the public to look at, and to look at what's not acceptable in the new age, like Trump banging his fist down, or said you should go out and beat that guy. I watched Merlin had sent me a beautiful a video last night, YouTube, of all the bad Trump moments when he's getting aggressive, and but these things need to be pointed out to the public, so they're very divine and very beneficial anyway. Okay, that's enough for Trump. These politics, we're above politics, but we need to steer these things to awaken more the others, and let them know a little bit more of what's going on. Okay, let's get back to the Kundalini. Okay, so with this Kundalini, the spiritual thing, it's like, wow, um, the most energizing thing that you could experience inside the human physical body. You feel bubbling sensations. You feel the energy swirl, from your root chakra, and you up around your heart, spiraling upward, connecting all your chakras, bringing them in alignment, and connecting them. So it's a very beautiful process, and once you have that activated and going, you can manifest from this, and you're a much more powerful manifester when you have this going. And so there are many divine reasons, not reasons, let's go, no, there are many divine purposes, for this Kundalini as well. But one of the main ones is that it's part of what you are, and it's part of this ascension, and most importantly, it's part of taking these physical human vessels into the higher dimensions. And it's you're ascending higher and higher timelines and higher dimensions. And with higher dimensions and timelines, those are dictated by frequency and vibration. So to be able to have an experience in, these much higher dimensions while in the human form, you have to adjust this human vessel. And, one of the ways to do that, so that you can walk into the other dimensions, is to have a physical vessel that has the energetic component that you can tune at free will, so that you can go in and out of these other dimensions at free will. So let's say you could also look at it as a get out of jail card. Yeah, so it's cool. So, okay, I got some notes written down here. Let's get to them. We're 13 minutes into this already, and I haven't said much, have I? Okay, so this Kundalini thing, some in the past, you can force it to awaken it. And, some of that Kundalini yoga, and perhaps it's Hinduism, it doesn't matter what belief system it's in, but again, mostly, in Southeast Asia, it can be forced open, but it only can be forced open when the soul that's opening it had wished for it to be open that way. So it is divinely orchestrated. So you see some that will have that will write perspectives on here, on the internet, saying that you can't force it open. But yes, you can force it open, because it was part of that soul's contract to open it that way for other purposes, and to show others that it could be as well, upon doing the right inner work. So there's always many ingredients to this, but once you have the right combinations, it is opened. So you can open it manually, by putting your intent and your focuses there. Now, it also happens on its own. And as I mentioned earlier, when it happened to this physical vessel before I was awakened, during that process, I had no clue what it was. I said, what's going on? I was holding on the table and all kinds of foodie stuff, because you're just so bewildered. You don't know what it is. And but when that happens, when you're oblivious to it, it is an important stage in your development as going back to your essence, to your divine light and what you are, and also gaining your divine prowess back with this. So it's very important. So there's several ways. So we just covered, it can happen on its own, it can be forced, but also it can be triggered in you by another that has it activated. And there is a process with that occurs, but really it does not have to be a complicated process, because there are catalysts out there. I am one, and that can trigger this in others when it's their time. And again, the other that it may be triggered in, it was in their soul contract to have it triggered that way, by an individual, by a catalyst. So every way is correct. It's, at the end of the day, it's activated. And that is what is important to look at in this now and to take forward, that it's activated. It does not matter how it got activated. The importance for you ones that have it activated is that it's activated. It's up and running. Now, for some of you, you might have been activated 20 years ago, and you're saying, okay, well, I'm still here. I got this thing activated. It doesn't seem like anything changed. I don't have much power. Well, the thing is that you were waiting for this time, for this now, and what we are rapidly progressing into with your spirituality, but with your divinity. And I'm going to change that term from spirituality and just say your divinity. So there is a divine plan, an overall divine plan that encompasses the actions of every one of you. You are all an integral piece of the overall divine plan. And it is assured where you are at on the surface. It is assured at what stage you are at in your development as well. Now, there is a governance of this divine plan. And I will share with you that I'm part of that governance, and many of you have suspected that, and many of you even know it in your heart, and that is the truth. Because, everything, there is a divine order of how things will happen and how things will occur. But one of the main objectives with this ascension and why you are here is to maintain these lower timelines for the human experience. You are different. You are not staying here in the way that it was before. It's an individual basis. Some will be staying with a higher consciousness and, causing and affecting the future timeline and helping steering these future timelines on the lower dimensions, while others of us are leaving. Some are just going to few higher timelines, some are going much higher. It depends on the individual soul contract. But for those that have this Kundalini activated, it is part of your interdimensional abilities with the human vessel. It's able to integrate and tune into the frequency so that you can sustain your physical vessel into other realities, into other dimensions. So it's very important. It gives you more of a free will with what dimensions you may wish to visit. It gives you more of a free will of the form that you may wish to take as well. And that gets in a little bit deeper subject that we can elaborate on that more. So it's a very important instrument. Now, in the past, some of you that have not have the Kundalini activated, your Merkaba light body, if you wish, there's many labels for it, and I use Kundalini, Merkaba, interchangeable. Really, it's all the same. There are some of you that have walked into other dimensions that don't have your Kundalini activated. And this was because you just walk into the closest parallel timeline or dimension when atmospheric energetics of the planet, when those conditions are correct, yeah, you do not need to really raise your frequency and keep it there for long. You are able to enter these other dimensional doorways. But the thing is, you're not, for the most of you, you're not allowed to stay there because the energetics does not support you staying there. So that's why you come back. But that does not mean that, you go further here in the future, because this ascension is about that. It's about the other dimensions. It's about, this ascension is about going outside of the human experience. And it's about increasing your experience that you're going to have while conscious in a physical vessel. So it gets real fun with this, and this is what we're doing. Okay, so just received the message, put it out, that more of you are going to be activated very shortly. So there may be some of you watching this, or that are part of the angels group here. If you become activated, please share with the others that it's happening. By sharing all information without reserve, it's excellent. It assists everyone moving forward, as a whole. You are a group. So the information I was given, it is time to activate more of you, because this is in line and in tune with the future excitements, that are coming here, and also with more of your abilities too. So it's very important and very good. And again, if it is not activated for you, you're in your perfect place, and there's no fears with this, thinking that you're doing something wrong. You're not. It's what you chose at the soul level, and to do your work here. And but like I said, it does not mean that in 2 years' time on this linear timeline that you may activate it and all about it and say, okay, I'm ready to go too. So there is no real set resurrection, or not resurrection, sorry. There's no set, just skip that. There is no set time for when each of you go. You don't all go together. You don't have to. There may be groups, and it's a mixture, because it really is an individual basis on how you ascend. But there is, a general bandwidth that you stay within. So you're all within, this. And some of you move a little bit higher than others move up, but there's that certain bandwidth, if you can perceive that just for now, to look at it. But things change as we keep getting higher, and human logic does not apply. Some things that were given to you before may contradict what you know and what you come to find out in the future, but that is the way it is, because perceptions, if you would say a logic and universal law, it does not apply the same to all timelines. it has to change. So just keep open with everything that you're learning, and be ready to drop something that no longer serves as you go up to a higher level. Now, with this, so with a Kundalini activated also, it allows for integration of other light beings to come into your energetic field to assist. And to assist with things you may need to know, to assist with healing abilities, you know, to assist with your prowess. What it does, it's, if you could look at it that you have an energetic field, and let's say you wish to, for example, heal someone's broken leg instantly. So if you look at that, you do have the ability to call in the energy from other times that would assist in accomplishing that. Now, I don't want to get into detail of how this is done, because any of you would, if you're to do that, such a thing, you will be given how to do it. I'm just letting you know that you can connect, yes, to the energy and the essence of other light beings into your energetic field. You can communicate with them, but you also can bring them in to your energetic field when you're doing your divine work to assist. And also, you know, the great white dragon energy, you bring that into your energetic field at times that you may need assistance with moral and ethical injustices that may be imposed upon you. So, just for an example. Okay, with the Kundalini, with some, you know, you could have been activated through the root chakra, you know, in a sexual way. It could have begun there. But there's also, let's say, kind of rare instances where, for some, it was activated from the consciousness in their heart and went down and triggered the seat, the the root of your vortex to activate. So for some, you could have felt you know, the energy immersion within your heart space first, and then felt it projected down to open the root chakra, which is down, you know, in your yeah, you know, your tailbone. Yeah, there we go. So, you know, it's there are different ways with it, and there's no proper way, just as long as it's activated again. Okay, so all at this time that has an activated Kundalini, you have the ability to take your human vessel that you have with you into the other dimensions and sustain existences there. So you have that all set up. The blueprint and the format has been set. It's in place. And you may ask why you're still here. Well, you're part of that overall divine plan. And even though you're ready to go, you don't go until the divine plan says that. And it's that simple. So you have interdimensional abilities with this. Also, the bilocation, which is part of this Kundalini as well, which it's actually also a transport system that you can transport yourself with this as well. Now, let me say, I'm not giving all the information, but what I'm feeling on these timelines, that full bilocation at free will is going to be strictly governed, and only in rare cases. What we don't wish to do, we're securing these lower timelines, and what you don't wish to do is to introduce too much of the divine truth that destroys the human experience. So you don't want to leave too much of this behind on those lower timelines. So if that makes sense to you. So there are reasons for that. There is no mistaking when it is activated. You will feel the actual energy inside of your body, from the root chakra. Like you'll feel the energy like swirling around your spine and going right up internally. And yeah, it's a very wonderful experience just to, I guess you could say, of orgasmic proportions, but much more than that. It's for this human vessel, it's one of the most amazing, beautiful, uh, mysterious feelings that I've had in this human physical body. So very profound and beautiful. Now, hold on, I got to turn off the heat here. Okay, so there's no mistaking when it's activated. You feel it. It's just that's what it is. So we got to the catalysts out there. Yes, there's catalysts, other divine beings, human in the human form like yourself, that you are a catalyst. Some of you, I do know you, and you are catalysts for awakening others. Like there's some powerful females there that, have awakened, triggered some of the males. It was pre-orchestrated to be that way, and you've done that. And there is great discipline and respect and responsibility that comes with also being a catalyst, because of what you are activating. It can be very intense and also sexually intense for the other one that you are activating. And sometimes it can be a bit confusing because with this, when you activate one's Kundalini, it's the ultimate, uh, perhaps sexual pleasure and feeling that you get as well with it. It's very more intense uh, towards, let's say, the regular orgasm. It's compounded upon. So it, without someone awakened to the degrees that they know all about it, they could just have love in their eyes. It's a love potion too. So sometimes it can become very intense for both partners, or not partners, for the catalyst and the one that they catalyze. But some become partners in the twin flame thing and in the soul mate thing as well. There are relationships formed because of this catalyst and this trigger. However, what topic that I'm on right here is that there are catalysts out there. Now, there are male catalysts that activate and trigger the female's Kundalini as well. But what we had several years ago, and I had to do this a couple times, is that some of these males were getting, let's say, have not dealt with all of their ego and their patriarchy. And what they were doing was, starting to use the prowess they had as a catalyst to take advantage of women. And no, that is a no. This is a very sacred, important thing, and part of their own advancement is, you don't do that. This is a very potent, sacred energy, and you use your utmost with it. It's okay. You have you are consensual adults. So let's say for the pleasure of sex without a relationship, but you have your Kundalinis activated, or one does and one doesn't. It doesn't matter because it's a mutual, consensual get together. But one thing with your sexual relations in regards to this is what I suggest is, and this is important for the females more so than the males, because of the the DNA exchange with the physical vessel that may occur, but it also occurs, through kissing as well. So DNA is transferred. But what you wish to do, where you've done so much work with your physical vessels, is that if you're interacting and engaging in, let's say, more intimate relationships, well, I strongly suggest to keep the higher consciousness ones if you can. Now, I know many of you are married and in relationships where you're awakened to that degree and your partner is not. But there will be things that will, occur with that as you keep going forward. But what I do request for the ones that are single and out there, more so free, try to keep your partners of the higher consciousness as you can, because it does have effect on the physical vessel, the DNA exchange, and you don't want to reverse a lot of the evolution of the human vessel that you did. So you don't want to contaminate it. And for these ones as well, that had to progress out of eating meat, the same principles apply. So, when you're eating meat, the DNA from that meat, as it's being digested, is going into the cells in your body. And when your DNA is being restructured to allow for the physical body to entertain and contain your Merkaba, you don't want these contaminants in there from other souls. You are refining, you are connecting your own soul with your physical vessel. You don't want contaminants from meat products or from another coming in, let's say, lower energetic quality. And this is the importance with this. And this is also why an animal, even though they have a soul, let's say their physical vessel they have is of a lower, in the DNA that they have is of a lower energetic thing, just to try to keep it simple. I'm not quite explaining that, but I believe you get the point on it. So, with your relationships, use your own discretion, go with what you feel in your heart. And that is the most important thing always. So, okay, so I pretty well went over everything that I have written here. And as always, perhaps there are things I wish to include that I didn't get in there, but so we will, just glancing, seeing any questions there. Any questions, you guys? If you wish, you can throw a couple up there now, and I will look at the comments. But, when I was doing the video, I rarely look at the comments because I'm focused on getting a certain message out. Okay, Nancy, she says, I have been activated. Now what? Now what? You wait. You're ready. But you may not wait, because where you have this activated, everything is going to change, because it's a steering mechanism as well. So once it's activated, it changes everything that you do and how you act and how you react. So it's a more streamlined process to keep you on your path, to keep learning, if you haven't already, the things that are pertinent for your future and these sort of things, and your interactions with others. So you have been activated. So, you keep open with your heart and also your eyes, as observing. You go by your divine instruction, what you are given. No one else can tell you, Nancy, what to do with this unless, it resonates in your heart, and that that individual is genuine and that they are divine as well, because there is that assistance. But But what I'm saying with that, just don't go to the blue. If someone walks down the street, you don't feel something from them, and they say go over there. No, you don't do that, because you know it's not a divine message, if you will. So you use your own discretion in that respect. Renee, yeah, it was just Wizard Wand, yeah, I believe that is here. I hold nothing back, and many of you know it. So, don't see any more messages coming in. Everyone you feel pretty good with what I've given to you. There is more, of course, as we keep going higher. But what happens is that I do know more higher things that I have not said, and so just letting you know that. But also, it's bit by bit that the information is integrated as. As you progress to the level of the higher consciousness, which is able to have that knowing within you and to have it shared to the collective. So as you keep, going higher and higher, you get more of the divine truth and more of the divine knowledge that is applicable to the level of your progression in this ascension. So all things in timing, and this is why patience is so important. Yeah, you've been activated for many years, but you're waiting, but you were waiting for this time we are in, and so it's there, and it's a very important part of you now, and of this ascension, and of the futures. So it's very cool, and no one can tell us on the planet when you leave here, what date it is. There is no set date. And one thing I'm always given, and I don't even know that. I'm on a need to know basis down here. I don't even know, when we're going to go. I've been given myself several in the past possible dates for me, and I wake up the next morning and say, WTF, I'm still here. But and then I'm told, okay, be happy, don't be a sook, and you're here to do this divine work. So we're here to do it. So, have fun with it, make jokes, and be happy. And we go when we go. The thing is, you don't know when we're going, but the thing is, we are going. We know that much. So patience is what we need to do, and we get excited with that. And I will confess to you that sometimes out of the anticipation and the excitement, I become impatient, but in good ways. It's not a fear-based one. It's like a child waiting for Christmas, right? There is no fear in that impatience. It's an excitement, really. So we have that. Jan May, she just said my Reiki energy became activated during this vid. Is that a good sign? Well, I believe it is, Jane. Yeah, indeed. And these sort of energies your gifts being activated. This is important with the gatherings, as well as more of you physically come into contact in your energetic field, your auras. When they begin to start to integrate with each other, there are very valuable energetic exchanges there. So, with some of you in these gatherings, when you're meeting in the physical, with the hugs and whatever, or just even being in the proximity of another within a few feet, there's energetic transactions that are happening. And during these gatherings, from the ones that have a lot of gifts activated, others will be walking away from a gathering with other gifts activated just so quickly. And they may be oblivious to what they have activated, but when the time is right, perhaps accidentally they'll find out they have another gift. But the important thing is, always keep open and keep trying your gifts. And I can assure you that all of your gifts work, including manifestation. The reason why something doesn't materialize in that respect is because it's governed also by a divine plan and by your soul contract. And one of the things one person will say when they're awakened, I can manifest. I'm going to manifest $1 million. No, no. In your soul contract, it says, no, no, you're not doing that, because that changes everything what you do. You have to learn your responsibility, your discipline at using your prowesses, and you don't need to manifest the money. You have the ability to manifest the events that brings the items to you that you need. Part of the reason that we are here, that I am here, and many of you, is to break down this control of money upon the planet. And I promote all of you not to charge for your services, your Reiki services, your healing services, what have you, to not charge. Don't put a price tag on that. And one of the important reasons why I did this, and it made a lot of you struggle a lot more, but your faith is strong because you know from your soul. But one of the reasons I did this is because I wished for those ones that did it to start seeing how they can manifest in other ways their their state of being here, that you don't need to manifest the money in your hand, that you can use your gifts to let it come in the other ways. So it's important to trust divinity so that you can see how, yes, there is a very divine flow that assists you when you need it during your work in assisting others. So when I say just go on a donation basis, that helps detach you from the, let's say, the negative aspects of money and the aspects of fear, greed and control, these things, because these are things you need to clean up to strengthen your prowess. So you don't want to be assisting another and charging money, because that is contradictory actually to why most of us are here. So it's very important things with that. So some will try to justify it by an energetic exchange. Well, yeah, if it's for you, go with that. But for those of you that can't, like a lot of teachers, you're not supposed to really be here charging money. You know what you are. If you're really authentic and credible, and if you got the scoop of what's going on, you know that you do not need to hurt another by sucking $400 out of them when they only got 500 in their account, that they need assistance to join the collective of angels to advance. Like, what are you doing? You're just prolonging things. So so there's many things with that, but each one, again, you do what resonates in your heart. And as I said, anyone watching this, always test what I say. I put it out there for you. It works much better when you test what I say. Do the opposite, then observe the results. That way we get rid of the doubt quick, which is fear, and then you're in line and you're open to receive more that will catapult you and propel you forward even perhaps quicker, hopefully. So okay, I'm just thinking. So during this whole video, I didn't shake my fist or anything like Trump. So hopefully there shouldn't be too many comments on on how I behaved. Or, anyways, have fun with it. And this is what we're doing. So an amazing day, and I love you. Peace. And we'll catch you later.